Hey guys, it's Maymay, and you guys said in my reveal video that you wanted to see how to make these two cards. And so today we're going to start with this one. I think it was the most requested. I didn't count, but I felt like I saw wedding card a whole lot. So I'm going to show you how to do this one real quick. So let's get started. Now the stamp set I'm using is this one. It's called Tailgatin, and it's adorable. I love this set. It's our newest release for the club. And we're going to need to stamp the truck. Now I just have a piece of scrap cream colored paper. It does have some little flecks of color in it, but that's really not going to matter. I'm going to be fussy cutting this little truck. And the buffalo check part of this truck is so cute because whatever color cardstock that you stamp it on, that's the color the truck is going to be, but it's still going to have the little buffalo check pattern. Now you do want to make sure you run your finger over this. Don't over press. See where I have some black in that tailgate? If I over press, I'm going to get that as well, and I don't want that. But look how cute this little truck is. And now I'm going to show you how I fussy cut it, and it's super easy. It looks difficult, but it's not. You can use the SVG. We do have an SVG file for this. What I do is I just cut this little guy out like this, and where the rearview mirrors are, I cut them off. And honestly, when you see my finished project, you don't even realize it, but I just don't want to fussy cut around those, so I just cut them away. If I want them there, if I just really have to have those those side view mirrors, I should say, if I really have to have those little side mirrors, all you do is you stamp the page before you put your little fussy cut piece on, just like paper piecing, and then those will be there. But I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna just fussy cut this little guy out, and then we will start assembling our truck. I was so excited to get this guy cut out. I forgot to stamp inside here. So if I were you, I would stamp in here before you cut him out. But since I forgot, we're just going to do it. Now I'm going to use the word hitched. It's going to go in this area. And you have an option. You have the word just and the word getting. I'm going to use the word just because that's what I did in my first card. So you can say just hitched or getting hitched. So that way you can use it as a wedding card or as a wedding shower card. We thought that would be good if you're going to like a bridal shower. You could also do that. Now I'm just going to place these guys on here like this. I don't know if you watch my Product Parade channel where I give you tips and tricks, but this little tip is using an eraser to line your stamps up because the stamps won't stick to an eraser. They stick to my fingers. So I'm going to ink these little guys up just like so and then stamp it down. I love this. There's so many sentiments for the back of this little pickup truck. So just hitched. And then I want to put a little license plate in here. And the one I'm using is forever. I thought it'd be funny to remind them, you're just hitched forever. Also, you could handwrite something in that little tag if you wanted to. That would be super cute. Or you may have some other stamps in your stash. There's all kinds of things to stamp in the tag, but you may have all kinds of stuff you want to put in that little guy. It's too cute. So there's our truck pretty much done. I'm going to move him out of the way while we start prepping some other stuff. On my little truck here, I wanted like a little flower garland hanging on the tailgate. So what I did was I took my flower punch. This is the Martha Stewart hydrangea punch. And I just went to some of my little papers. I like to use the patterns. And I don't need the big flower here, so I'm just going to punch these little guys out just like this. See how I can kind of isolate them? So I'm going to punch a couple of those out. I don't need many at all. There's two. Probably only need one of those because I like 3 colors of flowers. So then I'm going to go ahead and grab here. I am going to get 2 just in case I lose one. That way I'll have enough when I get ready to put it together. And I'm going to get a pink one as well. So those are my flowers. They will go on my little truck bed when we are ready to assemble. And I also use some baker's twine. And what I did for my baker's twine is I just kind of sized up how much I was going to need here. I don't really have the room to swag it because it'll hang over that. So I just needed a piece that'll do kind of like that. It turned out super cute, but I want to leave myself enough room to knot the ends. And I have pretty chubby fingers, so I need some space. So the first thing I did was I made one knot on one end because this is what's going to look like is tied to my truck. So see how that knot will live right there? Then I need to make another knot over here somewhere in this area. So what I did was I started the knot and got it pretty close to where I wanted it to be. And then I check it on my truck. That's a little too far away. So let's bring it over here a little closer. Just play with it. And that's about right. just about like that. Perfect. Okay, then I just cut this away. I did leave a little bit hanging. I want this to look like a country truck, you know, like a bunch of best men got together and went, what can we tie some stuff on? And they did it with rope, and then the bridesmaids came over and said, no, this has to be cuter, and they added flowers. That's literally what was in my brain. So the next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and glue our little rope down. And all I did was I put a little glue here, a dot of glue on one side and a dot of glue on the other, and I just glued our little fuzzy rope in, just like so. It doesn't have to swag as much as you think, because we're going to place our little flowers where we want them around the wording. So there's our little rope. How stinking cute is this? All right, then I took my flowers, the end of my embossing tool, and I just press into the center to get that to kind of lift up like so. And like I said, I really only need 3 colors. So there's a yellow, let's do a green. Doesn't matter which side either. This is that gingham paper, so it really doesn't matter which side is up or down on the flowers. It might matter to what you're using, so pay attention to that. I'm gonna put these aside for another one. And then what I did was I just chose where I wanted those to go. Tell you what, I'm not gonna put those on yet. Let's leave them there, let's let that dry. Let's do our little ones that hang out of here. So for these guys, I took my pokey tool, and from here to here, like from the tire to there, I split the middle and I made a hole right where the bumper starts. You might want to do this before you put your little rope on. I kind of got ahead of myself, but I just made a hole big enough for that baker's twine to go through. Let's do another one on this side, just like this. Push that one through like so and make it big enough. And then all I did was take a length of my baker's twine. I'm gonna need 2 of those actually, and I'm just gonna tie it through. I wanted there to be a little knot, so here's what I did. I pushed it through and brought it around to the end, and then I'm going to tie a knot here so that you can see that same knot like at the top. We'll have a little bit up here as well. And I didn't really knot it, I just kind of tied it so it looked country. It looked like, you know, we were literally out in the woods and just grabbed some rope and tied it onto the bumper, which is something we would do. I need to use my other scissors. Those are not ready for that. Okay, so there's that one. Let's put the other one in. So that's got, see how like rustic those look? I love that. Then for the last one, I used a little bit of tape and I just put it on the back side. So I'm just gonna grab a little piece of purple tape. You won't see this. So just a little piece of purple tape and another bit of my twine. And on the back of our little truck, I just taped this guy on into the middle. You don't notice it. By the time you're done, you don't realize that they're not all 3 tied, but you needed one coming out of the middle as well. Now you can see I've left myself some length down here, because once I put this on the card, I'm actually gonna place these. I actually placed those where I wanted them and glued them in place. So once I get it there, that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's go ahead and mount this to our card front. So I'm gonna use a piece of wood grain because I want this to be a little more tone on tone this time. I just thought this would be cool to kind of give us 2 different looks and not make the exact same card again. And so on the back of our little truck, I'm gonna add some Scotty because I wanna pop our little truck up. I love this truck. Now let me show you, if you want to do what I told you about to get those little rear view mirrors, let me show you how to do that. So see here, I don't have the little, they're not rear view, I don't have the side view mirrors here, but if I stamp the truck here, I can then have them as well. And what I'm gonna do is just concentrate my ink on the little side view mirrors. I'm not really worried about stamping the whole truck down. I just really need those mirrors to show. So I'm gonna place this here, and then where I want the truck to be on the card, I'm gonna stamp those little mirrors. And this won't look right, it'll look a little weird. Don't worry, it'll be fine in 2 shakes of a second, okay? Or as my grandma would say, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the little backers off of this guy, just like so. And then we'll place him where the truck would live, just like this, so that our little mirrors show. See? So if you want those mirrors, that's the way to do it. It's much easier than trying to cut around those mirrors, unless of course you use the SVG file, and then it's pretty easy. Now something I want to do before I forget is I want to take a little bit of art glitter glue, and on these knots I made, I want to put a little glue there. The reason for that is it will keep them knotted. You don't want those coming undone. And if you'll just put it and then just kind of tap it, it gets into the fibers of the twine, and they're not going anywhere. Okay, now this may get hard for you guys to see. Let me back out just a little bit. Okay, so we need to make some little cans for this truck. So hold on one second. So the cans are real fun to make and super easy. Here's what I did. I took some scrap cardstock and I made myself some little rectangles. And when I say little, I mean little, like not even 1/4 of an inch, almost 1/4 of an inch wide and about 3/8 of an inch tall. And these will be my cans. Check those out, aren't they adorable? They're tiny. Then to make them look slightly more like cans, I just picked them up and I did this little point cut on the 4 corners, like you're doing a little angle cut. You really don't have to do this, but I thought it would look a little more like a can if it wasn't perfectly square or perfectly rectangled. So just cut those little edges, which you can probably barely tell that I'm even doing. But in my brain, it needed to be done. And none of my angles match. Do not stress about that. You will not be able to tell it when we're done. So there's my second little can. So there's our 3 little cans that are going to tie to our ropes. Now I am not going to try to pretend this part was not fiddly, because it is. Here's how I did it. I took the rope and I made a loose knot in the end of it. Just a loose knot, okay? Decided if that was long enough, that's a good length. And see, I've got that little loose knot. Then I took the can and I just stuck it inside of there. If you're using a single-sided piece of paper and you want a certain side of the can to show, then you'll want to pay attention to where you're putting your knot. I wanted my knot to be facing up, okay? So that's where my little can's going to live, like that. I'm not going to worry about that excess right now. I'll get to that in a second. Then do the same on the next one. I told you this part's a little fiddly. Well, after I've done it the first time, it's gotten easier though, because the first time I had to figure out how to be able to put all this in my hand at the same time. And don't pull the knot so tight that it squishes your little can. You don't want to do that because you can squish them. All right, this rope is way too long. I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. And I didn't want my ropes the same length. So they're all a little different length. Okay, so there are my little ropes, just like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them where I want them and glue them down. So what I did was I pushed these guys up like this so I could get that little swirl in there, and I glued my little can down right where I liked that little swirl, if that makes sense. So I like the way that little swirl looks, so I'm going to glue my can down just like that. And so that is laying like this, and I'm going to do it with all of them. I don't want my little ropes to match. Like, I don't want all of the little bends to be the same, because I don't think they would be coming out of the truck. So you have to decide how you want to lay them. You might want this one to go this way, but just play around with that and decide where you want it. Wherever you put them is going to be cute, because there's no way to say that's exactly how that can would have flown behind the truck, So I just stick that one in place, and then I've got this last one to do. Now you could totally leave those little pieces of rope. There's some little pieces hanging out there. You could leave those, but I just snipped them away. In hindsight, for filming purposes, I should have used a darker background, but I like the tone on tone. It looks really cute. But because of that, I'm going to bring this one in and show you what I'm talking about. See how I just glued these where the little rope would do like this? That's exactly what I did there, okay? Now we can add some fun stuff. So on the truck, I need to add my little flowers. So what I did was I just came over here and put a little glue onto the rope itself. Then, using my little quick stick, let me flip this guy over, there we go. I want to pick this little guy up and put him into the glue. And I just placed them one at a time. This rope needs to be glued in the middle as well so it'll stay. So just a touch of glue right there for the rope. And then I'm going to put these flowers on this side as well. I don't know if I'm doing, I am doing it pretty similar to the other one. I didn't know if I was doing it exact or not. So there's the little yellow flower glued on. And let me put a little more glue for the green. Here comes the green flower. I like to nestle them like that. Nestle's my word today, apparently. So there's our little flowers. Now they'll get a little pearl inside of those because they need it. They'll be super cute. Then, on the rope, which I think this is super cute, I took some of these little Nouveau stars and placed them on the rope. So I just took some glue and just here and there down the rope, I put some dots of the glue, and using this jewel picker, I picked these little guys up and put them onto there. They are so cute on there, by the way. So cute. It just kind of dressed it up a little bit. In doing that, it also helps to tack down the little rope. But if you don't get glue on the rope and the star, just add a little bit of glue to hold that rope in place. But if you run the glue on the star and the rope in the card at the same time, you can kind of lock it down into place. Super cute. All right, I am going to tack this one up a little bit. No, I think it's all right. There we go. All right, now what we need to do is add our little bling to the flowers. For this, it's a little bit like surgery. It's a little bit like operating. I put a little dot of glue inside of each one of these guys. And then I just have some little pearls. These are not sticky back, they're just little pearls. And I'm just gonna stick that in there to the glue. And it probably won't stick at first. I just use this little tool to help me hold it in place. See what I mean by a little bit like surgery? And then pick this little guy up and the last one. We'll let those sit there and dry. And the final part of this card I will do after I attach it to my card base. So this is an A2 size card, and I'm going to glue this little guy down. And again, I'm working in that tone on tone situation. You may not like to do that. You may want to use the colors of the bride or what have you, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to use kind of a champagne-y or a cream color and do tone on tone like this. So there is that little guy glued down. And the reason I said save this last part, this part for last that's coming up, is because you want this to sit and dry. So I'm going to take some of the crystal glaze and I want to glaze this card up. And the first place I'm going to glaze is the back window. So I'm going to come back here, and this just really dresses the card up and gives you the feel of glass. And it's so cute. So I did that section. I did the tag because I thought the tag was really cute to look metal. And today, since I didn't have little side mirrors on my other one, I'm gonna do the side mirrors too. So they'll be a little shiny. And then lastly, the cans. They just really needed the little shine, a little something extra. And this may make them kind of disappear on camera for a minute because they go a little milky. But when they're dry, you get a good little shine from them. And I did not do this before I tied them on. I waited because it's gonna do a couple things. Number one, it's gonna keep that knot in place because we're kind of gluing it in with the crystal glaze. And the other thing is I wouldn't have to wait on them to dry to finish the card. I'd be able to just go ahead and get done. And then let the card sit and dry. It's so cute. You can also do the little backup lights right here. And then I missed something. I did stars on my other one. Let me show you that. I'll do that here too. For the little tail lights, I'll put a little dot of glue right here. And a little dot right here. And then just a couple more stars. I forgot about that when I had the stars out. There we go. It makes them sparkle. Okay, let me show you how this one looks. See all the shine and all the sparkle now that we've got? See the glass and the stars and the cans are all sparkling and shining. I'm gonna leave that one there to dry, but look, I'll bring this one over because it's dry and you can see it. I just love it. The little rear view mirror's got the shine to it, the tag. Oh, I did the tires too. I didn't realize I did that. And then you can see here, isn't this cute? I love this card. I think it's adorable. Let's do the tires since I did it on the other one. Oh, not with that. That would have been wrong. Let's do it with this one. Let's do it with the right product. Here we go. I think it'll be cute. So we'll just let this one dry and it's ready to be sent to someone who's getting hitched. How cute is this truck? I love it. I like it with the little mirrors. It looks cute. So that way you can see it with and without. But that was an easy little workaround. Thanks so much, guys, for asking me to do this card. This one was a lot of fun to do. I like how they look a little bit different. They turned out super cute. If you use this stamp set and you make a project, please share it with us over on our customer gallery at maymaymadeit.com. We love to see what you guys are making. And don't forget, there's a contest for this one. If you make any project using this stamp set and you post a photo there in our customer gallery, you're entered to win a $50 gift card to our store. So be sure to go enter. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.